with a rumor debunked and more. This is Pro Wrestling Central. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. In a contract status update, AEW Tag Team Private Party of Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn could be departing the promotion, with Dave Meltzer saying this in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Private Party's AEW deals are up very soon. It appears a new member of the Bloodline could be debuting, as Ringside News wrote that Hikuleo signed with WWE back in 2024, and since then, there's been no indication he would be debuting anytime soon. However, as it turns out, it appears his debut could be happening very soon. According to a report by PW Insider, Hikuleo is scheduled to be at this week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown in Lexington, Kentucky. This appearance could mark his long-awaited debut, as he's been signed with WWE for nearly a year at this point. Fightful Select previously reported that Hikuleo has been listed on WWE's internal roster for months. When people in WWE's creative team were asked about him, it was noted that they were made aware he was signed, but he wasn't factored into creative plans upon his being signed. Considering the fact that Jacob Fatu finally turned on Solo Sikoa during the Money in the Bank Premium Live event last week, all signs point towards Hikuleo finally debuting and joining either Fatu or Sikoa. Mentioning the absence of Luchasaurus from AEW, Brian Alvarez noted on the Brian and Vinny show, "Where is Luchasaurus? Where's Killswitch? Okay, yeah, I realize he had an illness. That was months and months and months ago. He's been ready to go for months. Where's the guy at? Like, what's going on?" After her segment on Raw backstage, where Io Sky thanked her for paving the way for women's wrestling, Nikki Bella responded to critics of this, saying on her podcast, "I meant what I said last night about just being so proud of this women's division. I did some media right before this, and I was kind of saying the same to them, but you know, on here, we could elaborate a little bit more. Impact means so many different things, right? And breaking barriers. It's not just about a moveset in the ring. It's about using your voice. It's about fighting for what's right. It's about breaking barriers, and it's hard, I think, for a certain crowd on the internet to understand that. They'll hear about you paving the way because you know somebody will make comments when Io Sky said that to me. But what they don't realize is paving the road isn't just about doing moves and what happened in the ring. It's also what happened outside of the ring and what it's done for women's wrestling as a whole, and I get for some of the young people or some of the ignorant men. Let's just be honest, I don't even give a They don't get it because they're just thinking moveset, and they're thinking wins and championships. They don't think of the overall picture, and majority of the time it's because they're not a woman. They've never had to fight for what we've had to fight for. Not only are they not a woman, they're not a WWE superstar, so they don't understand it, right? But so a road paved is women that did so much more than that because they were fighting to do more of that moveset, more of what happens in the ring, so there had to be a huge fight outside of it. That's why, you know, when I said last night, and you'll get this and a lot of people will, it's amazing to see women pick up your blood, sweat, and tears. Hold on to that. And I'm talking not just me, not just you, every woman from the past, right, that fought for women. Take that and make something bigger with it because that's what you want, and that is what these women right now are doing. From their athletic ability and what they are doing in that ring and beyond it. They have a lot of impact outside of it, and so I meant every word I said last night and being so proud and so grateful because there is an insane amount of talent in that locker room. Explaining why Gunther won the World Heavyweight title on Raw, Dave Meltzer noted in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Gunther beat Jey Uso to win the world title on the June 9th Raw show in Phoenix. It was confirmed to us that the reason this happened is because Paul Levesque made the call to make Gunther versus Bill Goldberg on July 12th, Saturday night's main event, a title match, likely since it was going on the same day as All In Texas. Gunther versus Goldberg was always going to be the retirement match, and it was always AAA's going against All in Texas and on NBC with the idea of maximizing that day with the big match, not on Netflix, but on free network TV. Recalling how she felt before WrestleMania 41, Michelle McCool said this to her husband, The Undertaker, on 6 Feet Under. The 5 weeks leading up to the Hall of Fame and then WrestleMania, you know what I'm talking about. I couldn't focus on anything else except my dear husband. That was a rough 5 weeks. Everyone kept coming up to me saying, how was the Hall of Fame? How was this? And I did enjoy it. Literally, the moment I stepped out on the stage, but we had way more important things going on before that. You want to talk about how I saved your life? I think it's important for people to know. When people came up to me to congratulate me and asked how I was doing, I was almost in tears. I'd say I'm okay, but they could tell I wasn't. They thought it was because of the speech, but it was really because of the heart issues you were having just weeks earlier. We found out by the grace of God it was a total God thing, but it was terrifying. And the day we got back from WrestleMania, the very next morning at 6 a.m., we were in the hospital for a bit of heart surgery. Taker added, it was my heart. Yeah. So yeah, there was this little kind of situation going on. I wasn't even supposed to go to Vegas. McCool then said, you weren't supposed to go anywhere. You didn't want me to tell anyone, but that wasn't fair to me. We were in the hospital for 4 nights, just 2 weeks before WrestleMania. You weren't supposed to go. It was terrifying. I couldn't focus on anything else. All I was thinking about was you, your heart, and finding the best cardiologist. And we did. But it took a lot of phone calls, a lot of sleepless nights in the hospital, and so many doctor visits. You're here by the grace of God. But even the doctor's words himself, it could have ended badly if we hadn't found out that day. Taker added, now I'm strong like a bull. Revealing that he signed a new deal with WWE, OMOS told Gambling Industry News, things are going very well, can't complain. I'm really excited about what is to come. I've been training really hard and working on some new things, and I think it's going to be a really fun ride ahead, especially because I just signed a renewal with WWE and will be there for years to come. Following his performance at the WWE and AAA Worlds Collide show, Mr. Iguana has been a hot topic of conversation. According to Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Iguana has backstage heat in WWE over a comment he made about skipping NXT and going straight to Raw or SmackDown. The AAA star had said this to Linnea Direct-to-TV, I'm there effectively. Like literally, I was in the Performance Center yesterday and they told me, you're not going through NXT, you're heading straight to the main roster. I was literally taking pictures with Shawn Michaels and they told me they need you here because your shirt is the top seller in WWE and you're also the fastest rising star when it comes to action figures and trading cards. Being in WWE is the dream of every child and I will have all the time in the world for my city because thanks to them and thanks to being Koichi, I would not be where I am today. Previously, WrestleVotes Radio reported that WWE has significant interest in making Mr. Iguana part of their programming on a regular basis. Sources confirm the company has interest in a marketing standpoint as well as a community outreach standpoint as they feel the character can connect to the younger audience. Fully expect to see a heavy dose of new Iguana merchandise before the summer ends. It was previously reported that TKO wanted to renegotiate the salary of Roman Reigns, who earns $5 million as a base salary, as well as $10 million on top of that for merchandise and more. Now, Ringside News has said Roman Reigns is a megastar in WWE and gets paid handsomely for that reason. However, a rumor claimed that TKO was planning on renegotiating Reigns' salary, and now it appears that the rumor has been debunked. According to Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, there are currently 7 WWE performers making well over $5 million a year, with 2 more possibly reaching that amount by the end of the year. Meltzer noted that outside of The Rock, Roman Reigns is the highest paid WWE star. It was added that Jonathan Coachman's claims that TKO asked Reigns to take a pay cut or change his contract is not true. There are 7 WWE performers earning well over $5 million per year, and 2 others who may also hit that figure this year. Aside from The Rock, the highest paid is Roman Reigns, Whatever stories that went around from Jonathan Coachman that TKO asked Reigns to take a pay cut or restructure his deal are false. This comes after Hugo Savinovich pointed out that Jonathan Coachman and Tommy Carlucci claimed TKO was thinking about changing Roman Reigns' contract. They claimed that TKO didn't want to release him, but they also didn't want to keep paying him $15 million and wanted to renegotiate his contract. On the Last Word podcast, featuring Jonathan Coachman and Tommy Carlucci, they revealed some shocking news. They said TKO executives are reconsidering how to handle Roman Reigns. While they won't outright release him, he won't be making $15 million per year anymore. And TKO, they're cutting costs across the board. We've seen recent releases, and there are rumors of more. Remember when Nick Khan, a major WWE executive, announced he was selling $4 million worth of stock? That raised eyebrows. TKO is saying Roman's not around full time. Why are we paying him so much? So they want to renegotiate. Now that rumor has been debunked, fans are just waiting to see when Reigns will return to WWE television, as he's been away since the Raw after WrestleMania 41, where Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker worked together and beat him down. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.